Yeah, Paul Middendorf, Executive Director for Space HL. Most of my work has been community-based, community-oriented. The I've had experiences in the past where I've done civilian first responding, say for Hurricane Harvey, and then and of just recent. The My connection, I guess, is sort of deeply rooted with the community and sort of helping, whether it be creatives or people, within my neighborhood or around the city, with making connections and being sustainable and working together. The pandemic has changed a lot of that with the closing of our space for safety precautions. How my life has changed in the work that I do now is drastically different. I started working with CrowdSource Rescue, which is a civilian first responding organization. During the first 2 months of the pandemic, I did food delivery for immune compromised individuals and the elderly that were in lockdown. So I delivered food for about 2 months during that to sort of help out wherever I could. I felt there was a great need, and everyone was panicking, and it's just such a challenging, dark time, and so I knew that I could help in some way, so I was able to do that. Post that, during and post that, I was still working with my organization as far as reaching out with like-minded organization leaders, business individuals, and just people around the community and whether we were having conversations or dialogues or live streams to sort of how we can all work together, how we can get through this, how we can remain sustainable, and help each other out, where we were needed and what we could do to fulfill those needs. The storm season this year was incredibly terrible, with the amount of storms, the amount of hurricanes that we were just hit with in the Gulf Coast alone. I knew that a lot of the nonprofits and the organizations that would normally be able to help and to be there for Louisiana weren't going to be able to do that because of the pandemic and because of restrictions there. So again, I worked with CrowdSource Rescue. I did search and rescue for both Hurricane Laura and Delta. And then for about a month and a half, I was in Louisiana organizing supply runs, relief, building projects, roofing, any way that we could help Louisiana and their drastic need. With the pandemic happening, there wasn't a lot of news coverage, there wasn't a lot of help that was getting there. And so anything that our groups or we could do to help, we did. So I organized neighbors and friends to caravan to Louisiana to supply churches with food and supplies around the region. And, Louisiana helped Houston out and Texas out so much during Hurricane Harvey that we were, there to repay the favor. So, that's sort of where, that's just what's been happening. It's, there is a great need. Everyone is struggling, everyone is hurting, and so whatever we could do to help, however we can do that together is, we'll try to do. As far as like how that fulfills me, it's just knowing that my friends and neighbors are okay, or they're going to be okay, and how we can remain sustainable for the, however long the duration is that we have to go through this. Someone asked me, someone asked me how I was doing, and I stumbled on the question, and I just said being. I was like, well, being, and then they're like, no, that's good, just being. Like right now, it's like we can't ask for much. I struggle with the word hero, whether it be unsung or not. That it was being tossed around a lot during Hurricane Harvey, and through my community work, I've gotten recommendations and, some press here and there, but, I think with this pandemic and what's happening, I think the word hero is difficult because there's so many people that are doing so many great things. I mean, just in the millions, whether it be frontline workers, first responders, service industry folks, folks that they're losing their unemployment. They have to go back to work and they don't want to. Grocery store workers, delivery drivers. All these people are at risk, and all these people are doing their due diligence to remain sustainable and to help their families and to help other people. Those that work in elderly care facilities, those that are organizing charitable donations and projects, those are all so very needed and special. And so, in a sense, I think we're all heroes together, just doing this together and to try to get through this. And so I am honored and I am flattered. But yeah, I think I'm one of millions.